Have you ever installed a line filter or a Bluetooth adapter on a 50-year-old audio receiver? Well, neither have I, so let's figure this out. This is my Kenwood. It is a KRV6050 or something like that. I use this in my shop, and it's not the best. I got it at a pawn shop for $45, but the best part is it came with a remote. It has issues. The knobs in front, they're a little grabby. Not going to fix that. My biggest problem is my reception out there is just awful. It's a steel building and I'm about 50 miles away from the closest antenna, so I got to do something else. One of the biggest problems I have is when I plug in my battery chargers and they're 30 feet away. As soon as I plug them in, this guy goes nuts. So I'm going to have to do some things with them. I'll probably put some ferrites on the power cords or something like that. But what I'm going to do here on this guy is I'm going to install one of these line filters. It's just a power in filter. I looked at the circuitry here. I don't think it's got a lot of filtration on the power, but you have to realize when these things were built. This was probably built in the late 70s, 80s. And you didn't have fluorescent lights. You did have fluorescent lights, but they weren't in your house. And you didn't have LED lights. And all those things they're just noisy. The noise that's being induced back onto your power lines in your house are far higher than they were back in the 70s and 80s when this guy came out. So now I could have went out and got myself a UPS uninterruptible power supply, put that in with a line filter built into it and been done. A good one's about 50, 60 bucks. This is about $10. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to pop this guy in. That's going to take care of some of the problem. The antenna problem, the actual reception, I don't know what I'm going to do there. It's a metal building, but I've got an external antenna, a good one. And it's just not enough. So what I may have to do is put a little amplifier on that, receiving amplifier on that. I don't know. But that's not on today's project. Today's project is installing this line filter. And it's not even here yet. It should be here in a couple hours. I'm going to put a Bluetooth adapter on this. So when I'm out in the shop, and I've got good internet service out there, I can just grab my phone, connect up to this, and have some decent audio. So with all that being said, let's get to work. First thing I'm going to do, I'm in my basement. My shop I went out there this morning. It was 9 degrees in my shop. So I'm not working in there, but even my basement's kind of chilly. So I'm going to fire up the heater. But let's get to work. got the idea for using one of these. This is the outer sleeve from Cheap Audio Man, and I'll put a link in the description. I've been at my wit's end trying to get some decent sounding music in my shop. It's tough when you live in the middle of nowhere and you're cheap and you don't want to pay for like satellite radio or something like that. So anyway, I have internet out there, and he was reviewing a few of these, and the videos are actually a few years old, I believe. But believe it or not, what he was reviewing is still for sale. So I got to figure out how to do it. There are instructions, and if I have to, I'll read them. And but he actually took a look at this one, which is made by, I don't know, Esinkin, Esinkin, I don't know how to say it. Anyway, he compared it to another one, and this one was virtually the same. He took them apart and everything. I'm not going to take them apart. I'm not going to do that. So you got to plug it in. Now where I'm going to plug it in, there's a switched outlet. Let's see, zip on over here. There is a switched outlet right there. So I'm going to plug it in there. Let me just get you a better shot here and you can see everything I'm doing. That's the wrong way. Okay, so I'm just going to plug this into the switched outlet. There we go. And plug into the back of this. There's power. And I'm going to plug into tape 1. Why? Because this thing was designed when you had tape machines and reel-to-reel tapes, and the newfangled thing was cassette tapes or 8 tracks. Anyway, so you actually have 2 tape inputs, but tape is long gone. I'll plug this in here, and then that should work. That's it. That's the whole setup. Now what I'm going to do is I have to go get some speakers. We'll plug some speakers into this, and we will give it a try. Okay, well, we've got it all hooked up here, and it's on switched, so that's switched. So when I turn the power on, this will become active, and I'll put it on tape 1. We'll see what happens. There we go. There's tape 1. No smoke, which is always a good thing. And let's see if there's any indicators on the front of this guy. Yep, there's some sort of light on this. So let's see how difficult it is to set up. So I'll go to my go to Bluetooth, and I don't think that's the way to do it. You have to bear with me. I don't do this very often. Display. Here we go. Bluetooth. Pair a new device. And there wasn't an app for this per se, and I don't know what that is. It's going through picking stuff up in the house. Let me hit the button on top. There we go. So I hit the button on top, it popped up here. I'm doing pairing. What the hell? Pair. And there you go, that should be it. Now, I don't have any music, but I do have, let's see what I have here. I got Spotify. Not a sponsor. None of this stuff is a sponsor. I mean, I bought this at a thrift store. I bought that on Amazon. I'll put the link below. And those I've had for forever. So let's see if it works. Well, I've got to get out of my podcast and get some music. Otherwise, here we go. Let's see what we got. Get some 90s music going. And it works. That's an advertisement. That was for Alienware. Again, not a sponsor.
Enjoy the next 30 minutes of uninterrupted listening.
Yep. I'm too cheap to buy a real plan, so I have to listen to advertisements. Backstreet Boys. Let's see if we can skip it. Oh, Esinkin. Well, maybe 90s wasn't a good thing. Britney Spears. Well, it sounds good. It's not the music I like, but, well, I say I don't like it. When I'm in the shop by myself, you just never know what I'm going to be playing. Okay, I better stop that because it's probably like some patent trademark thing I'm infringing on. Anyway, it worked. So what I've done, and it sounded cleaner. It hasn't sounded that clean in a long time. So what I've done is I've added an EMI filter on the input here, and I'll put the link to the description in the below. Now, I didn't hook up the ground. I used my meter and tested from the case of this to the ground. It's soldered, that's good, to this chassis, and we're good. And I verified to make sure that I'm hooking neutral up to neutral and hot up to hot. It would be so easy to get those reversed, and if someone plugged a mic into this or something, you just never know. It might send, it might screw it up. So I make sure you get the neutral and lines correct on that. Other than that, is it perfect? No. This thing, I don't know how old it is. It could be late 70s engineering. It could be 80s engineering. I'm not sure. So anyway, 40 years old, 50 years old, it still works, and I got it from a thrift store, and it didn't go to a landfill. So not perfect, but made some good progress. And to be honest, this was like, I'll put the prices, well, this was about 20 bucks and that was about 10 bucks. So for $30, I brought this guy back to a usable condition. Thanks for watching.